Hey folks, in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you the most updated 2025 cost of living numbers for Tuscaloosa, and I'm going to share with you how that compares to some other places that are also popular relocation destinations, some areas you might be considering, not just uh, house prices and interest rates, but actually how much it costs to live here. How much does it cost to come down here to downtown Tuscaloosa to eat a meal? How much is your power bill going to be? How much is your water bill? How much is insurance going to be? How much does it cost to fill up your gas tank at the fuel pump? And that way you can kind of see what it's really going to cost you to live here. And make sure to stick to the end, stay till the end, because there's one state in particular that people are leaving that state and coming here in big numbers. And that state is probably going to surprise you. So let's go ahead and get started. So first off, I'm down here in downtown Tuscaloosa. This is actually Greensboro Avenue, and I want to share with you just a couple places that I like to eat down here. And the first one right here being Mugshots. If you just want a great burger and fries, not your typical burger and fries, right? Their buns are amazing. The fries are amazing there, and the average price of a burger and fry meal at Mugshots, one of the most popular places in Tuscaloosa, $14.99. Okay, so this is not one of those cities that you might go visit where you know an adult entree is going to be 30, 40, $50. Now, we do have some places like that. There's one across the street over there called Chuck's Fish, a little bit more pricey, but there are plenty of places that you can go out to eat down here in downtown Tuscaloosa for very, very affordable prices. Okay, about to take you to another one. There's actually two on the other side of the highway here that I'm going to take you to next and show you what the prices are on those. All right, so I want to show you two more restaurants just across the street, and this is University Boulevard right here. This is like one of the main streets running through town, one of the busier ones. Hopefully that noise isn't picking up too much in the background, but there are so many places to eat here. I'm just showing you a couple. I feel bad I live here, and I'm making these videos for you guys, and like I haven't even gone to eat at all these places down here. But this one right behind me here is called the Avenue Pub. The Avenue Pub. They haven't been in this location very long. This location actually used to be the Mellow Mushroom, which is actually just a little bit further back that way. They're still here, but moved into a different location. If you're wanting a little bit more of like a nicer burger and fries, plus other things on the menu as well, the Avenue Pub is a good option for you as well. Again, you're down here in downtown Tuscaloosa. You can literally park down here. There's a bunch of free parking down here after 5 p.m. There's a parking deck like a block over from where I'm at right now. You can find that on Google, and you can come down here and walk to a lot of places to eat. A typical entree at the Avenue Pub is going to be $20 to $25. So a little bit pricier than Mugshots, the first one I showed you over there, but still, not really crazy. And if you come, if you're looking for a little bit better deal on food, the ones that are right on University Boulevard are going to be more, right? I mean, location, location, location. So if you just ride down University Boulevard, there's a lot of good options, tons of great places. I just showed you Rock and Roll Sushi was there. Uh, there's a bunch of good options right there, right on University. But if you kind of you know, just take a left or take a right, and come down one of these alleyways, there's plenty of other great spots as well. And I'm about to show you my favorite one down here. I don't know if you can tell or not, but over the last couple months, I've been eating a very clean diet. I'm down about 30 pounds, and once a week I do a cheat meal. And normally my cheat meal is either pizza or Mexican food. And I just passed a pizza shop right here. I haven't ever eaten at that one. But if you're looking for good and affordable and great atmosphere in downtown Tuscaloosa, Jalapenos downtown is our favorite place to come. Your average price of an entree down here is only $12.99. Now, you're getting the chips and salsa included, right? So you're not having to pay for the appetizer, which is another reason why, me as a uh, family of five, why Mexican food is one of our preferred ways to go. We're not having to pay extra for an appetizer. The chips and salsa comes out beforehand. You can get the cheese dip, you can get the pico, you can get, sopapillas and ice cream and all that kind of stuff for dessert if you want to. But if you're wanting to still stay, within budget, then Mexican food is a really good option. And Jalapenos downtown, they're not even open right now. This is one of my favorite places to go, and there's a good chance if you reach out to me, if you click the link below and get on my calendar and you end up coming into Tuscaloosa, there's a good chance that we're probably going to end up down here because this is one of my favorite places to go. And I only right now once a week is when I'm doing my cheat meal. So I might come and have my cheat meal with you. I did that with a client the other day. He bought a condo here in town from they're from Arizona. They bought a condo to stay in during football season, when they come in for games, when they come in to visit their daughter who is going to school at the University of Alabama. They were in town for a few days, and he said, "Let's get together." I said, "Awesome. We're going to my favorite place downtown." And so we met down here, and then we actually, if you come down here a little bit later, there's a lot of live music down here. Again, Jalapenos is behind me, and this square right here, there's several more places to eat. There's a couple bars there behind me. This is kind of and I told them this is kind of the older folks area of downtown. If you're looking for nightlife and you're not want to be around a bunch of college kids, this is where the older folks come, right? So if you're 30, 40, 50 or older, uh, you can come down here to this area: Jalapenos, Avenue Pub, Mugshots, Copper Top, Rhythm and Brews. Lots of good places where you can come down here and enjoy, food, music. There's even the Bama Theater is right around the corner. We take advantage of stuff at the Bama Theater. It's a old historic theater. They do plays there. They have movie nights there during the summer. They have concerts there. They have magicians come in, comedians, all that kind of stuff as well, in a kind of a smaller, old school type atmosphere. So, you know, Tuscaloosa, you can still come down here and eat very, very affordably. All right. So the next thing on cost of living I want to talk about is homeowners insurance. I don't know if you follow this. You probably don't follow this as closely as I do, but homeowners insurance is becoming a really, really big deal in the real estate space. There are actually places out there. There are states out there right now where insurance companies have said we are not writing any new policies. So they're basically saying if you've already got insurance with us, then we're going to keep you as a customer. But if you cancel or if you sell, somebody else wants to get insurance on this property, they can get it from somebody else, but it's not going to be from us. Okay. That's going on real big right now down in Florida. There are entire insurance companies that are just saying, we're just not going to write any new insurance policies on any properties, in the state of Florida. We're seeing that in California, right? Wildfires going on in California, hurricanes and flooding happening in Florida, and insurance companies are trying to protect themselves. And so they're just saying, hey, we're going to keep our current customers we got, but we're not going to take on any new ones. We don't really have that kind of problem here in Tuscaloosa. We have some weather. We do have some tornadoes. We have thunderstorms. This year has been a very rainy year for us. We've had more rain than normal. And, with the ground getting soft like that after rain, and then, strong winds come through, we've had a lot of trees down this year. We've had a lot of times this year where, the power got knocked off for a little bit because a tree fell on a power line or something like this. This is Tuscaloosa trolley back here. I'll talk about the trolley here in just a second. This is a parking deck down here in downtown Tuscaloosa. But your average insurance price in Tuscaloosa, I pulled this up today. The average, and this seemed high to me, the average price for single family residential insurance on a home, $229 per month. Now, that's lower than a lot of other places, but that still seemed high to me. I would say when it comes to insurance, loyalty hurts you. And here's what I mean by that, all right? If you go to a Allstate office, an Allstate agent, and ask them to quote you for insurance, they typically can only quote what they have to offer, right? State Farm, same way. Got several friends that are State Farm agents. If you call them and get a quote, they're only going to be able to give you their price. So as an investor, right, I own quite a bit of real estate. I'm always looking to buy more. I found for me that shopping it around every 6 months helps, right? These insurance companies, they're trying to reduce their risk. What they want to have happen is they want you to pay a policy for years, never have a claim. And if they go up on the prices and you cancel and you move to another insurance company, they won, right? You paid a premium, you paid a monthly payment to them for years and years and years, and they never had to pay anything back to you. They never had to pay for fixing damage, right? So that's what these insurance companies do. They go up, they figure out, how high they want to go, how many people they're okay with having canceled out. So because they're playing that game, to me, it helps for me to play the same game, and I just shop around. So one of the things that I do with my clients, I've got an independent insurance agent, and what that means is he doesn't just represent one company, right? He doesn't just work for Allstate. He doesn't just work for State Farm. He's got about 40 carriers, and I can send you can send your information to him. He will put it in his system, and he will find you the best rate and the best insurance for that particular time. And 6 months later, he can do it again, right? So I kind of like having the same guy. I don't care what company he puts me with. I'll swap every month if I need to. I'll swap every 6 months if I need to. I'm okay with swapping around to different companies, but I'm still dealing with the same insurance agent. So if I did have a problem, I know who I'm dealing with. I'm not shopping. I'm not changing, from this agent to this agent. I'm dealing with the same agent, but I'm dealing with a different insurance company, and I'm getting myself the best rate, and I'm shopping it around because they're certainly okay with going up on my prices. So again, insurance is not as big of a deal here. It's not hard to get insurance here the way it is in other places, and so insurance is really not that big of a deal. Now, the reason why insurance is a big deal when it comes to real estate is that there's 4 components to your monthly payment. I'm down here in Government Plaza right now. That's Tuscaloosa City Hall behind me. They have events down here all the time. They have a free concert series on Friday nights down here in the summertime, and it's kind of hot out here today. So I'm gonna kind of just camp out here for a second. The reason that insurance is important when it comes to real estate is that there's 4 components to your monthly payment, right? PITI, principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. I'll get to the taxes in a minute, and that's where I'm going to share with you the state that's having a mass exodus. People are leaving that state to come here. But if you can get cheaper insurance, it's going to decrease your monthly payment on your house, right? So if you look at your mortgage statement right now, if you have one, you'll see that listed on there. It might say escrow. It's going to say something to that effect. But if you go out and get a better deal on insurance, now your house payment's going to be less. So it certainly pays to shop around. Now, another component of your monthly payment is the property taxes, okay? And this might surprise you. The property taxes, I looked this up this morning. The average property tax bill, the yearly bill for a single family residential home in Tuscaloosa is only $735. We're talking like $60 a month if you pay that monthly like most people do on their mortgage payments. If you compare that to like Nashville, Tennessee, another very popular relocation destination, Nashville is 2.5 times more than that. 1,800, I think it was $1,820. And if you compare that to Dallas, Texas, the average property tax is $3,400 a year. So you're talking $60 a month versus $300 a month almost. So if you buy a $300,000 house or a $400,000 house, a $500,000 house, a $100,000 house, your payment in Tuscaloosa compared to Dallas, Texas is going to be at least $200 cheaper per month, not because of insurance, but because of the property taxes, right? Now, the average sales price, the median, I want to make sure I'm telling you the right thing. The median purchase price last month in Tuscaloosa was $325,000. So that gets you an average house. Now, that's in Tuscaloosa, right? If you're closer to the University of Alabama, you're closer to downtown, you're going to pay a premium for that. We can still get brand new, like new construction houses in the mid 200s right now. I did one last week for $247,000 with a client. Brand new house, 4-bedroom, $247,000, never been lived in. So in Tuscaloosa, your property taxes are going to be lower than some of these other destinations you might be looking at. And you're going to be able to buy a much nicer house for the same price or less. $325 was the median sales price for Tuscaloosa last month. In Dallas, Texas, it was $440,000, and in Nashville, Tennessee, it was $480,000. So, one of the things that shocks people when they come to Tuscaloosa, when they hop on my calendar, when, they ask some questions, when they finally do, make that decision to fly in or drive in and spend the day together with me going out and looking at houses and looking at neighborhoods, they normally come away with, I can't believe we can buy this much house here. This same house would cost us $500,000, $600,000, $750,000 in some of the other areas that we're looking in. So I told you, the house price is going to be lower because of your taxes. You're also going to be able to get a nicer house for the same price or less, right? So if 325 is the median and 440 is the median price in Dallas, Texas, that means you're basically getting an average house for 325. You're getting an average property for 440. So if you want to go much nicer than that, if you want to double that, now get a house that's twice as good as the average house, you're talking about $880,000 would be your price for Dallas, versus here you'd be at $650. All right, for $500, $600, $700,000, you would be shocked how nice of a house you can get in Tuscaloosa. I'm talking waterfront. I'm talking luxury. So overall, insurance is not hard to get here in Tuscaloosa. Your property taxes are going to be lower than almost anywhere else that you look at, right? And the overall, like, the median sales price of houses is still low here. Now, people here, that have lived here for a long time, like I have, some of us, like, some of them don't see it as like, they'll say stuff like Tuscaloosa isn't affordable anymore. Well, compared to what other areas of the country are seeing, it's still pretty dang affordable, right? You can buy a brand new house that's never been lived in the mid 200s, and it's going to have low property taxes. Your insurance is going to be low, and you're going to have great schools. Okay. So, I mean, that's still a pretty good deal to me compared to other places in the country. All right. So, one other thing that you've got to consider in Tuscaloosa, there is this parking deck behind me here. I'm still at this government plaza. Found a little spot in the shade where the lighting is kind of okay. This parking deck behind me, you can park there for free. It's always free. You can park there and walk around downtown Tuscaloosa. That's normally where we park when we come down here. Park there. There's also I showed you before that Tuscaloosa trolley. There is a public transportation system in Tuscaloosa. Now, if you are, you know, a college student or you're living on campus and you want to just get around campus, they have a great transportation system called the Crimson Ride. You'll see those buses if you've ever been to a football game, if you've ever been to a basketball game here, any of the sporting events where there's big crowds, they use those buses to get people from the parking areas over to the stadium, over to Coleman Coliseum, for the basketball games. But if you're a student going to school here, whether you live on campus or like I did when I was going to school here, I didn't live on campus, but I would drive over here to downtown Tuscaloosa. I would park somewhere for free, and I would walk over to one of those Crimson Ride bus stations, and it would take you all around campus. There was a couple different routes. They had like a yellow route, a red route. It's probably changed by then. That was a long time ago. But that's a very robust system for college students. There is not a great public transportation system here if you just live here. Now, there is the Tuscaloosa trolley on the other side of this parking deck here. There's some benches there, and you can wait there. And there are bus stops all throughout the city where that Tuscaloosa trolley will pick you up, drop you off. There's several different routes. You got to know which route you need to be on, and what the costs are with that. But I'm just telling you from experience, if you come to Tuscaloosa, you fly into Birmingham, for example, there are companies that will pick you up at the airport and bring you to Tuscaloosa. You can get an Uber down here, especially if you are close to downtown and you're close to campus. But if you're really considering buying a property here and you really want to take advantage of everything that Tuscaloosa has to offer, you're going to want to have a vehicle. All right, whether you drive in or whether some of my clients, my friend from Arizona, who bought the condo down here in downtown to be close to his daughter, he bought an affordable vehicle just to keep at the condo. Right, it's going to cost him a lot of money to just continue to rent a car for a week at a time, 2 weeks at a time. So they bought an affordable vehicle. They keep it parked at the condo. They use it when they're here, and there's more to Tuscaloosa than just a college town, right? Just being totally honest with you, I live here, work here every day. I very rarely even come to downtown Tuscaloosa or to the University of Alabama campus. I just don't. My whole life is in Northport. My kids' schools, sporting events. We don't come down here very much. And Tuscaloosa and Northport, Tuscaloosa County in general, has a lot to offer outside of just being a college town, right? I've visited some other campuses, and outside of the campus being there, there's really not a whole lot else there for the people that live there, right? Tuscaloosa is not that way. We say all the time that Tuscaloosa is a big, small town, right? So you have that small town feel. Earlier when I was in front of mugshots, I don't know if you saw the girl that was running by. Like I knew her. She saw me filming this YouTube video, and she smiled and waved. And like I can't go anywhere in this town without running into people that I know. Now I've lived here a long time. I've been here since 1996. I graduated from high school here. I went to college here. I've been in the real estate business here, right? Go to church here. Been in the gym here. In and out several different gyms, several different churches over the years. And it's a big, small town. And so if you're just coming here just for the University of Alabama, I would just say you're missing out. There's a lot more that Tuscaloosa has to offer than just coming in and watching a football game and, going to a sporting event, going to a concert. This is a great, great place to live. In fact, like we have this conversation all the time when we go on trips. We'll all be in the van together, and hey, Joe, Joe is my oldest son. If you could live anywhere, where would you want to live? And I'll ask William, my 5-year-old, hey, where would you want to live? We could live anywhere other than Tuscaloosa. And we talk about it, and they got different areas that they'd like to go to, but we all come back to we don't really want to live anywhere other than here. We love living here. So there's a lot to offer here, and the public transportation system is not great. The number of Uber and Lyft drivers is not as great here as it is in other areas. So one thing to factor in to living in Tuscaloosa is, you probably want to have a vehicle here if you're going to be owning property and visiting here frequently. All right, so as promised, I did want to share with you, one state in particular where the data is very clear. People are leaving that state in big numbers, and they're coming and relocating to Tuscaloosa. Before I get in that, though, if you're watching these videos and you're thinking about making a move to Tuscaloosa, I'd love to be your guy. Right? I'm in the real estate business full time. I'm with EXP Realty. We're the largest real estate company in the world at this point, doing more deals. 90,000 agents across the world right now. But when you reach out to me, it's going to be me and you from beginning to end, right? I've got a team. I have agents that work with me every day. I have an office. I lead an office. I lead a market center here in the Tuscaloosa area. But when you reach out to me and you work with me, it'll be me and you from beginning to end. I'll be the one meeting you. I'll be the one showing you the properties. I'll be the one writing your offers. I'll be the one giving you your updates. And sometimes it helps to talk to that person that's going to be going through the transaction with you. I don't run a big real estate team in the sense of like I'm going to pass you off to somebody that's going to do this, and I'm not going to really be involved. That's not the way that I operate. If you reach out to me, again, my calendar link is down below. You can schedule a phone call or video chat with me anytime. If you decide to come into town, if you decide to buy something here, I will be helping you through the entire process, just me and you, from beginning to end. Okay. Now, the state, all right, I promise you this at the beginning, the state where we're seeing mass numbers of people leaving that state to come to Tuscaloosa, all right, it's not New York, it's not California, it's not Ohio, it's actually Texas. All right. I mentioned the property taxes before, right? Average property taxes in Dallas, Texas, as of July 2025, $3,400 a year, almost $300 per month just in property taxes, versus in Tuscaloosa, 700 something dollars, about $60 a month versus $300 a month. People are leaving areas that are high tax states to come to areas like Tuscaloosa where the taxes are still low, right? Our property taxes are low. Our sales tax is still low. Our income taxes are low. Now, people make fun of us for education and obesity and all these kind of things, but I'm here to tell you, like, we got good schools here. All right, my kids are getting good educations where they are. I feel like I got a decent education where I'm at. Now, I'm not an Ivy League type person, right? I was never going to go to Harvard, never going to go to Yale. I had to join the Army to go to school, right? Like, I wasn't smart. I didn't have money. I wasn't willing to go into debt. But like, I feel like I got a decent Alabama public school education here. And so Texas, that surprised me when I pulled the numbers. Pulled the numbers a couple weeks ago. More people are coming to Tuscaloosa from Texas than anywhere. All right, so right here, there's one of the little Tuscaloosa. It says Tuscaloosa DRV. There's a couple different ones here. One says Tuscaloosa Trolley. That's what I'm talking about, and this is the parking deck that I was talking to. I'm heading back to the vehicle. One last thing, one last little category I want to go over when it comes to cost of living is utilities. All right. Um, I live in an older home. We live out on a little small farm. We have a little bit of land. We live on a dirt road, and we're the only house on the dirt road right now. So our house was built in I think 1970. It's a single story brick home. We don't have many trees in our yard. It's basically pasture land. And, my power bill this past month, again, July and August, hottest times of the year, air conditioner running, pretty much nonstop. My power bill last month was $347. Okay. Now my mom lives in a a garden home community, probably 1,500 to 1,600 square feet, very modern construction, a lot newer house than I have. Her power bill last month was $168, so about half of what mine was, right? So I'm sorry, excuse me. So that's about what the power bills are going to be. Her house is about half the size of mine. Her power bill was about half of what mine was, right? So but going with more modern construction, uh, modern homes are way more airtight overall. They have better windows. They have better insulation. So if that is a concern for you, then stick to the newer homes. I'm okay with paying a little bit higher power bill, um, because even though my house isn't really my dream house, I love living out in the country. I love being out there, and that kind of outweighs it for me. My water bill last month was $48, so very affordable for my water bill. And my internet at my house, I think we swapped to a different company maybe about a year ago, and my my charter internet bill last month was about $85. And listen, we edit videos at home, we do Zoom calls from home. My wife, also has a virtual business as well, does a lot of virtual consultations just like I do, and like we've got pretty good internet at our house. So that's one thing to consider as well when it comes to like the overall cost of living. All right, so I'm back at my truck now. I did mention like the cost of fuel. I drive a full size truck. I need a truck that can haul. I tow a boat. I used to have a tractor. I don't anymore. So sometimes I used to have to load the tractor up, and I needed a big, strong truck that could do that. And so fuel is a big deal for me. So compared to other parts of the country, Tuscaloosa is still pretty affordable in that aspect. I filled up this morning at a gas station in Northport that's usually a little bit cheaper than the others by just a couple cents. And I filled up this morning, and it was $2.54 per gallon. Now down here, there's a couple gas stations in downtown Tuscaloosa. There's some on campus. You're probably going to pay like 20 to 30 cents more because of where those places are, right? It's just convenient. And if you need gas, they're the only one that's right there. So you're probably going to pay a little bit more. So I would say overall today, I'm filming this in August 2025. We're probably looking at most gas prices right now in Tuscaloosa, Northport, are in the 255 to 275 for just regular unleaded gas, right? No premium. I'd have to look up the numbers for diesel. I don't have a diesel vehicle, so I couldn't even tell you that. But still, again, compared to some other places out there, still pretty affordable.